Every morning you stand in front of a mirror, you check your face, you fix your hair, you look into your own eyes for a second. It feels normal, simple, almost boring. But there was a time when that small act felt dangerous. People once believed that mirrors could steal something from you. Some feared they could trap a spirit. Others thought they could show death before it arrived. A simple piece of glass carried quiet fear inside many homes. Like this video, share it with someone who checks the mirror before leaving home, and tell me in the comments, have you ever felt uneasy looking into a mirror at night? A mirror waits quietly on the wall. It does not speak. It does not move. Yet it shows you everything. Your tired eyes, a small scar, a smile that you did not notice before. We use mirrors so often that we forget how strange they are. A flat surface shows a living face. It copies every movement. It feels normal now, but it was not always normal. Long ago, before glass mirrors existed, people still searched for their own reflection. They bent down near rivers. They looked into still water. On calm days, the surface of a lake became smooth, like polished stone. It showed a clear image. But water moves. A small wind could break the picture. The face would shake and disappear. In ancient Egypt, people made some of the first mirrors. They used polished copper. Copper is a soft metal. When you rub it for many hours, it becomes shiny. It can reflect light. These mirrors were small and round. Many had beautiful handles. Some were shaped like flowers. For the Egyptians, mirrors were not just tools, they were sacred objects. They believed the soul had many parts. While one part was called the Ka. The Ka was like a life force. It stayed close to the body. When a person died, people believed the Ka still needed food and care. A mirror could connect the living world and the spirit world. It could reflect more than a face. It could reflect energy. Think about that for a moment. If you believed your soul could move in and out of your body, would you not fear a surface that captured your image? The reflection felt like a second self, a quiet twin made of light. In ancient Greece, mirrors also carried mystery. There was a story about a young man named Narcissus. He saw his reflection in water. He fell in love with it. He did not know it was his own face. He stayed near the water, staring. He forgot to eat. He forgot to sleep. In the end, he died beside his own reflection. The story of Narcissus became a lesson. It warned people about pride and self-love, but it also showed something deeper. A reflection can confuse the mind. It looks real. It moves like you, but you cannot touch it. In some parts of ancient Rome, people practiced a form of magic called katoptromancy. The word comes from the Greek word for mirror. It means using a mirror to see the future. They would lower a mirror into water. They would study the image carefully. If the reflection looked clear, it meant health. If it looked dark or broken, it meant illness or death. Mirrors became tools for prophecy. Prophecy means trying to see events before they happen. This practice made mirrors feel powerful, and power often brings fear. At that time, mirrors were rare and expensive. Only wealthy people owned them, and most people saw their reflection only in water. The image was soft and unclear. So when someone saw a sharp reflection in polished metal, it felt intense, almost alive. In ancient China, bronze mirrors were common among the rich. These mirrors often had detailed designs on the back: dragons, animals, symbols of protection. Some mirrors were believed to show the truth. If an evil spirit stood behind you, the mirror would reveal it. People hung mirrors in homes to push away bad energy. The idea was simple. Spirits feared their own reflection, so the mirror became a protector. Yet protection and fear often walk together. If a mirror could reveal a spirit, could it also invite one? As centuries passed, mirrors slowly improved. In the Middle Ages in Europe, glass mirrors appeared. Craftsmen placed a thin layer of metal behind glass. The result was clearer, brighter, more detailed. For the first time, people could see every line on their face. During this time, life was full of strong beliefs. Many people believed in witches, demons, and curses. The world felt full of hidden forces. A mirror did not feel like simple glass. It felt like a doorway. In many European cultures, a strong belief developed. If a mirror broke, it meant 7 years of bad luck. Why 7? People believed the human body renewed itself every 7 years. Renew means to become new again, so a broken mirror damaged the soul. The soul needed 7 years to heal. This belief lasted for centuries. Even today, some people feel uneasy when glass shatters on the floor. There was another custom. When someone died in a house, families covered all mirrors with cloth. They believed the spirit of the dead person could become trapped inside the mirror. Or worse, the mirror could pull the living into death. Imagine living in a small wooden house. A candle burns softly. A family member lies still in the next room. The house feels heavy with silence. You walk to the wall, you gently place cloth over the mirror. You do not want the soul to wander. You do not want to risk anything. There is something deeply human in this act. It is not foolishness. It is fear mixed with love. People wanted to protect both the dead and the living. In some Jewish traditions, mirrors are also covered during a period of mourning called Shiva. Shiva lasts 7 days after burial. During this time, people focus on prayer and memory. Covering mirrors removes concern for appearance. It shifts attention away from the self. It reminds people that grief is about connection, not vanity. The mirror becomes silent. The room feels different. In many cultures, people feared looking into mirrors at night. Night felt dangerous. The world was dark. The mind imagined shapes in shadows. If you stared too long at your reflection in low light, your face might seem to change. Your eyes might look strange. Your smile might fade. Modern science explains this. When light is low, the brain fills in missing details. It guesses. Sometimes it makes mistakes. The face can look unfamiliar. This effect can feel disturbing. But long ago, without science, people explained this change in another way. They believed spirits were near. They believed the mirror showed another world. I think this is one of the most beautiful things about human nature. When we do not understand something, we create stories. We try to protect ourselves. We try to give shape to fear. Mirrors were once rare objects of wonder. Then they became objects of fear. They showed something too personal. The human face is powerful. It carries emotion. It carries age. It carries truth. In the Renaissance period, mirrors became more common. Venice became famous for its glass. Venetian craftsmen guarded their secrets carefully. They created some of the clearest mirrors in Europe. These mirrors were so valuable that they were treated like treasure. For the first time, more people could study their own faces daily. This changed culture. Artists painted detailed portraits. People cared more about personal appearance. Self-awareness grew, but self-awareness can feel heavy. To see yourself clearly can bring pride. It can also bring doubt. As mirrors spread across homes, superstitions traveled with them. The idea that mirrors could trap souls did not disappear quickly. In small villages, old beliefs lived on. Mothers warned children not to stare too long. Some said a mirror could open a door to another place. Even fairy tales used mirrors. In one famous story, a queen speaks to a magic mirror. The mirror tells her who is the most beautiful. The mirror answers honestly. It does not lie. This idea made mirrors feel like judges of truth. Truth can be comforting. It can also hurt. By the 18th century, mirrors were no longer rare. They hung in bedrooms, halls, and shops. They reflected candlelight and later gas lamps. People began to accept them as normal objects. Still, a quiet unease remained in many hearts. When photography appeared in the 19th century, but something changed again. Now people could capture an image permanently. Some feared that photographs stole the soul. The fear felt similar to old mirror beliefs. A reflection could hold something living. This shows a pattern. When new technology appears, people often fear it first. They protect themselves with stories. Mirrors slowly lost their magical power in daily life. Science explained reflection. Light hits a surface and bounces back. That is reflection. Simple, clear, logical. Yet even today, many people avoid looking into a mirror in the dark. Many still feel a small chill when glass breaks. Old beliefs do not disappear completely. They become softer. They hide in habits. The mirror sits quietly in your home now. It does not demand attention, but it carries thousands of years of memory. It has watched humans grow from ancient villages to modern cities. And as we move into more recent times, something interesting begins to happen. The fear of mirrors changes shape. It becomes less about spirits and more about identity, more about the self. The story does not end with broken glass or covered walls. It continues in a new form. It moves into psychology, into the way we see ourselves. And that is where we will go next. For many centuries, mirrors reflected faces. In the modern world, they began to reflect thoughts. In the late 19th and early 20th century, psychology started to grow as a science. Psychology means the study of the mind. Doctors and thinkers tried to understand fear, memory, and identity. They asked a simple question: who are we inside? Mirrors entered this conversation in a quiet way. As a child stands in front of a mirror, at first the child does not understand the image. The baby may smile at the reflection. It may touch the glass. Slowly, the child realizes something. The image moves when the body moves. The face in the mirror is the self. This moment is called self-recognition. It is a small event, but it changes everything. It means the child understands that it is a separate person, not just part of the world, a person with a body and a name. Think about how powerful that is. A simple surface helps build identity. In the 20th century, some psychologists said that mirrors help shape the ego. The ego means the sense of self, the feeling of being me. When we look into a mirror, we see a complete image, a whole body. But inside, we often feel confused or divided. The mirror shows unity. It shows one person. And yet that unity can feel fragile. During this time, cities grew larger, life moved faster, mirrors became bigger, they covered walls in dance studios, they filled clothing shops, they stood inside elevators. For the first time in history, people saw themselves many times each day. This constant reflection changed behavior. People adjusted their hair more often. They watched their posture. They compared their bodies to others. The mirror became a silent judge. There is a gentle sadness here. Not dramatic, just quiet. In ancient times, people feared that mirrors trapped souls. In modern times, people fear that mirrors show flaws. Flaw means a small mistake or imperfection, a mark that feels wrong. During the 20th century, beauty standards became stronger. Magazines printed perfect faces. Cinema showed shining smiles. And mirrors no longer showed mystery. They showed comparison. Some people avoided mirrors. They did not like what they saw. Others looked too long. They searched for approval in their own reflection. I think this shift is very human. We moved from fearing spirits to fearing judgment. The object stayed the same. The fear changed shape. In hospitals and psychology clinics, doctors even used mirrors in therapy. Some treatments for anxiety or body image problems included mirror exercises. A person would stand in front of a mirror and describe what they saw, slowly, calmly, without harsh words. The goal was simple: to rebuild kindness toward the self. This shows something interesting. The mirror itself is not dangerous, but the story we tell about the mirror can hurt or heal. In the 1970s, a strange experiment took place, where scientists asked people to sit in a dim room and stare at their own reflection for many minutes. At first, nothing happened. Then, faces began to look different. Eyes appeared larger, features seemed to shift. Some people reported seeing other faces, strangers, even dead relatives. The reason was not magic. It was a brain effect. When we stare at one image too long in low light, the brain adapts. Adapt means it adjusts. It starts to ignore stable details. The face can appear distorted. This effect feels real. It can be unsettling. Imagine living hundreds of years ago without knowledge of brain science. If your face changed shape in a candlelit mirror, you might believe something supernatural was happening. Old fears suddenly make sense. In horror stories and films, mirrors often appear during tense scenes. A person washes their face. Out they look up. For a second, something stands behind them. Then it disappears. These scenes play with old memories inside us, the idea that mirrors hide another world. Yet in daily life, most mirrors feel calm. They reflect simple routines. A tie before work, a smile before a date, a tired look at night. In the late 20th century and early 21st century, mirrors took on a new form: screens. A smartphone screen reflects your face before it shows a message. A camera allows you to turn the lens toward yourself. The selfie was born. A selfie is a photo taken of oneself, usually with a phone. Now, reflection is not private. It is public. People share their image online. They wait for likes. They edit photos. They adjust lighting. In a quiet way, the fear of mirrors has become more complex. It is no longer about spirits, whilst it is about acceptance. Dear listener, think about how often you see your own face now, in video calls, in photos, in social media profiles. People in ancient villages may have seen their reflection only a few times each week. You might see yours 50 times a day. That constant view can change how you feel about yourself. At the same time, mirrors still carry old habits. Many people avoid looking into a mirror at night. Some feel uncomfortable standing in a dark bathroom with only one light on. The mind remembers old stories, even if we do not believe them fully. There is also a quiet comfort in mirrors. When you feel lost, you can look at your own eyes. You can remind yourself that you exist, that you are here. In hospitals, mirrors help patients recover movement. A person who lost movement in one arm can use a mirror to trick the brain. The healthy arm moves. The mirror shows both arms moving. The brain learns again. It is called mirror therapy. It helps the nervous system, which is the network of nerves in the body. What once felt like a doorway to spirits is now a tool for healing. This change is gentle but powerful. In many homes today, Mirrors are placed to create light. They make rooms feel larger. They reflect sunshine. They add beauty. Designers use them with care. They know how reflection changes space. And yet, if a mirror breaks, many people still pause. Even those who say they do not believe in bad luck may feel a small tension. They might pick up the pieces carefully. They might avoid stepping on the glass. Old stories live in the body. I sometimes wonder if the real fear was never about spirits. Perhaps it was about self-awareness. To see yourself clearly can be uncomfortable. It can show aging. It can show sadness. It can show truth. Truth is quiet, but it can feel heavy. In medieval times, people covered mirrors during death because they feared trapped souls. In modern times, some people avoid mirrors during grief because they do not want to see their own pain. The reason changes. The feeling remains. The mirror does not create emotion. It reveals it. And now, as we move deeper into our present world, the meaning of mirrors continues to shift. They are no longer rare. They are everywhere. In buildings, in screens, in cameras, in glass doors. The ancient fear of danger has almost faded. But a softer question remains. What do we really see when we look at ourselves? That question belongs to the final part of this story, and it waits quietly just on the other side. The modern mirror stands in your home without a mystery. It hangs in bathrooms. It rests on wardrobe doors. It reflects bright electric light. It feels ordinary. But if you slow down, the act of looking at yourself is still strange. You stand in front of a flat surface. Light leaves your face. It travels forward. It hits the glass. It returns to your eyes. In a fraction of a second, you see yourself. It feels direct. But it is a small journey of light. In physics, reflection is simple. Light bounces back at the same angle. That is all. No magic, no hidden door. Just energy moving in a straight path. Yet, the experience feels deeper than that. When you look into a mirror, you do not only see skin and hair, you see history, you see years. You see the tired evening after a long day. You see the smile from a good moment. The mirror shows your outer shape, but your mind fills it with meaning. In ancient times, people feared that mirrors could trap a soul. Today, many people fear that mirrors reveal worth. Worth means value. How good or beautiful someone feels. Social media has made this feeling stronger. A photo can be edited, a face can be filtered. A filter changes color and shape. It smooths skin. It brightens eyes. When you return to a normal mirror, the image feels different, more real, less perfect. This can hurt quietly. I think this is where we see something very human again. We want to be seen. We want to be accepted. The mirror becomes a test. Am I enough? In some cultures today, mirrors are still used in spiritual practice. In certain meditation exercises, a person looks into their own eyes for several minutes. The goal is not fear. The goal is compassion. Compassion means kindness towards suffering. The person tries to see themselves without harsh judgment. This practice can feel intense. It can bring tears, but it can also bring peace. There is a gentle, emotional truth here. The mirror does not change, but we do. Our beliefs change. Our culture changes. The story we tell about reflection changes. During the pandemic years, many people spent long periods at home. Video calls became common. People saw their own faces on screens during meetings, for hours. This had a strange effect. Some people reported feeling tired of their own image. They became more aware of small details. A wrinkle, a shadow, a slight frown. Psychologists gave this a name. They called it mirror fatigue. Fatigue means deep tiredness. The brain felt overloaded by constant self-view. This shows that even in a world of science, reflection still affects emotion. At the same time, mirrors continue to help. In dance studios, mirrors allow students to improve posture. In gyms, people check form. Form means body position. In driving schools, mirrors protect safety. A small rear-view mirror can prevent an accident. The object that once symbolized danger now protects life in practical ways. And still, in quiet moments, the old stories return. A child may run past a dark hallway and avoid looking at a mirror. An adult may feel uneasy in a hotel room with a large mirror facing the bed. These feelings are not logical. They are echoes. Echoes are soft repeats of old sounds. Dear listener, think about your own habits. Do you look quickly into a mirror before leaving home? Do you avoid mirrors when you feel low? Do you check your reflection when you feel confident? These small actions reveal something gentle about human nature. We use mirrors to confirm who we are. In some modern art museums, artists place mirrors inside installations. An installation is a large artwork that fills a space. When visitors walk through, they see themselves as part of the art. The message is simple. You are part of the picture. You cannot separate yourself from the world around you. This idea feels very different from ancient fear. The mirror is no longer a trap. It is a reminder of connection. And yet, the fear of breaking a mirror remains in many places. Even people who say they do not believe in bad luck may feel a small pause before throwing away broken glass. 7 years of bad luck still appears in jokes, in movies, in conversation. Beliefs can fade, but they leave fingerprints on culture. There is also something poetic about reflection. The word reflect does not only mean light bouncing back. It also means to think deeply. When you reflect on your life, you look inward. You examine your actions. You search for meaning. A mirror gives us both kinds of reflection, the physical image and the mental pause. When you stand before a mirror at night, after washing your face, there is often a quiet moment. The room is silent. The world feels smaller. You look at your eyes. They look back. That moment can feel honest. Perhaps that is what people feared long ago. Not spirits, not magic, but honesty. To see yourself clearly, without distraction, can feel powerful. In medieval homes, mirrors were covered during death. In modern homes, mirrors remain open during life. They witness birthdays, first jobs, grey hairs, tears, laughter. They reflect change. A mirror in your childhood home may have watched you grow taller year by year. It may have seen you practice a speech. It may have seen you prepare for a first date. It holds no memory, yet it feels like it does. This is the quiet beauty of objects that stay with us. They become part of our story. The fear that once surrounded mirrors has mostly softened. Science has explained reflection. Culture has normalized self-view. But the emotional power remains. The mirror still invites you to pause. And here is something simple but surprising. The image you see in the mirror is reversed. Left becomes right. It is not how other people see you. They see the opposite version. So even your daily reflection is not fully true. There is humility in that thought. Humility means gentle acceptance of limits. You do not see yourself exactly as the world does. Next time you stand before a mirror, notice the feeling. Not just the image. Notice the breath in your chest. Notice the small movements in your face. Remember that humans once feared this surface deeply. They believed it held souls. They believed it opened doors to unseen worlds. Now it hangs quietly, holding light and nothing more. But perhaps it still holds something important, a reminder, a chance to look at yourself without harsh stories, a chance to see a living person, shaped by time, still learning. When you walk past a mirror tomorrow, you might slow down for 1 second, not in fear, not in pride, just in awareness, a simple recognition, like you are both the one who looks and the one who is seen. And that quiet truth is enough.